50 years ago, America passed the 28th Amendment,
virtually enslaving anyone with special abilities into government service, or forcing them to live as ordinary citizens.
With his team disbanded,
America's foremost protector and hero for a century had been betrayed by the very institution he swore to serve. Erased from its history books, his every exploit was covered up. Now, in a place called Little Bighorn, the greatest hero America has forgotten will come out of retirement to take down the very institution he once served,
assembling a new team of superpowered individuals wielding abilities never before witnessed.
In a country that has banned its heroes, it's time to root for the criminals. Let's start a new revolution.
Psychically, I'm very well endowed.
I wanna know what you're thinking. There are some things you can't hide. I wanna know what you're feeling. Tell me what's on your mind.
Hey there, this is Coop from Telepathic Bunny Comics. Welcome to the call-in show. I have 4 eyeballs, 5 eyeballs. All right, that's a good start. Anyway, got a comment already. Creators Outlet. The answer is no. Okay, well, all right, Chris Tam. Hey, man. Welcome to the show. If you want the link, I'd love to have you on the panel. Just let me know. I'll send it to you. Anyway, today, since this is a call-in show, if I get anything during the weekend or last week, this is the time I do my my review of it. Anyway, so I did get something over the weekend. And it came from all caps. Recognize the logo. There you go. Now, I backed this a few years back. I actually backed it pretty much well after it already did the it was like in the store mode on Indiegogo because it already funded and everything. It funded probably in a matter of minutes, you know. You know how that goes. Matt Martin, a friend of Ethan Van Sciver. Not really sure what else he's done. I know he was in the pro ranks for a little while. And my gosh, you know, you look at his work, it's pro level. No doubt about that. So the package came with these 2 comics because I got like the old series number 1, and came with this right here. This young lady, who's not in. It turns out she's not Indian. She's Czechoslovakian. Not really sure what that was about. I think it must be an inside joke or something like that. Well, but this one is supposed to be a prequel to the series here. And this is like number 1 of the series that I think it was released on maybe Image or something. Yeah, Snowman. Yeah, we're gonna do a review right quick. Anyway, definitely all caps. They've got the foil cover, and the lady down there. You know, hey, man. She's not really even in the book. It's just that's on her on the cover. Martin after McFarlane, for some reason. That's what he signs everything with. This is Matt Martin. He doesn't really do a lot online. He doesn't do a lot on stream or anything, but he's part of that all caps stable over there. Took him a while to get this out. I'm not really sure. He kept adding pages, I think. But so this is the first one. This campaign was no longer up on Indiegogo. I'm not sure where you'll get it now. Maybe there's an all caps. I think they do all their stuff through eBay, so it might be available on eBay. I'm not sure. But this is kind of old school. It's got Matt's incredible artwork. He wouldn't be in all caps stable if he just wasn't next level, in the art. So you got that, and you got the chick that keeps popping up everywhere. On all the got several pin-ups of her in the back. Yeah, so evidently different people wanted to interpret her. That's Stefani Renee. He did a lot of that. But probably before he disappeared, wherever he's gone. Unless I heard he had some kind of lung cancer, but I thought it was in remission or something. He's got like the colored panel and the pencil panel or the ink panel, so you can see. But this first comic was, it was kind of it reminded me a lot of Shinu, in a way. You got these characters that kind of like float through and are brutally murdered, and there's no really no character development, no most of the time not even the name given. They just got like slaughtered, and it's just typical monster movie fare, and this lady just happens to show up, scantily clad in Indian, and she turns out she's like Czechoslovakian or something. And the lead guy, while everybody else gets slaughtered, somehow the Snowman stops just short of doing anything to him, so he had significant plot armor. And I saw a picture of Matt Martin yesterday, and he looks exactly like the lead character. So I guess it's a self-insert. That might be one reason. But this is like from the original series. It's like reprints of the original. I don't know if he has the whole series up, but this is all caps. I basically got this. It was offered with the campaign. But the campaign was actually about this book here, which is Snowman, A Cold Day in Hell. And this one, this is actually this is actually done like in the last few years. I'm not sure how long he's had pencils done, but it shows that he has progressed in his art quite a bit. And he is it reminds me a lot of Pat Broderick, that Bronze Star comic I saw, except I think this is Kyle Ritter coloring. I think he took over for Stefani Renee, but you can always tell Kyle's stuff because he's real good with ambient glow and things like that. And so if you're seeing a theme in these pictures that I'm showing you, that might be part of yeah, it looks awesome. It looks incredible. I'm not gonna lie, guys, the art is next level, okay? But it's all caps. And all caps seems to have the same issue. And this book, if you love art, if you love gore, this is your book. For what it's supposed to be, this is exactly what you expect it to be. Me, I kind of want, this might not be my book. This might, this was basically an incredible art book with a lot of gore, a lot of like, lot of murdered white men. A lot of murdered white men. Every single page, like oodles of them were getting murdered, and it's just like, and a few ladies thrown in for a good measure, and it's if that's weird thing is when Matt Martin and I, the only action we ever had is he was pushing this book, and I said, I'm a little hesitant to back it because, I'm a little tired of the, evil white men oppressing Indians, kill white men, you know. And he says, well, you'll like my book. And so I got it based on the fact that he didn't come back at me or get upset. He just like, kind of laughed it off. But unfortunately, that's exactly what this book turned out to be. Exactly. And oh, by the way, girl is not in it, except except for a little bit. So that's a little this, it's basically set. It's basically got a framing device of a diary, and she's reading the diary, so she's technically in it. But the bottom line, though, is I just want something to care about, somebody to care about. And after a while, I was just like, "Oh, that guy got slaughtered. Oh, there's more people getting killed. More people getting murdered. Oh, okay. Well, And if I was like more of an art Nick, I think I would have just sat there and like, ooh, look, his entrails are coming out. Oh, wow, look, his brains coming out. And it's beautifully drawn, and the coloring is it's incredible. It obviously has been made with some care, but once again, there's like really there was no editing. All these extra pages that he put in, none of them felt like they needed to be there. If you had an editor, you would be like, oh, there's plenty. You've got like out of this comic that you've got all these pages. I don't know. I don't have any page numbers, but it looks to be about, I don't know, about 58 pages of content or something. But out of that, I would say 48 pages are of, white men showing up and getting slaughtered. And it's just like, I don't even think you hear their names or anything. But it's just like, after a while, there's nobody to care about. There's two characters you're supposed to care about. And there's like a white man and an Indian guy. And he's the only white guy that doesn't get slaughtered. And but weird thing is this, like, there should be, he should have gotten slaughtered, but he didn't. And so all these guys are just getting wiped out, okay? And there's something that the Dukes of Hazzard used to do that has been proven over and over again to not be possible. I won't tell you what it is, but if you know anything about Dukes of Hazzard, the one impossible thing that they used to do with a bow and arrow. But the thing about it is I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but if what you're into is just art, and slaughter and spectacle, that's a book. That's a book for you. But if you're looking for story, if you're looking for narrative, if you're looking for uh, characters to care about or characters to root for or to hope that they survive, which is what you want in a horror comic, I didn't really find that. I honestly didn't find that. So I'm going to give two different ratings today. Hold on a second. Well, thank you, Shadowpunk. I appreciate it, man. The EVS edit Snowman. I don't know if it had an editor. I really honestly don't know if it had an editor. Let me look. Somehow I doubt it. At least it didn't have a story editor, that's for sure. But it's beautiful. I mean, it's a beautiful book. It's incredibly, creative assistance. And had a variant cover. No editor. No editor. Of course, nothing I've ever gotten from All Caps had an editor. So I don't think EVS believes in editors. I'm not sure. But I'm just going to be honest with you. I got to give two ratings for this one. The OES for good art and a good story. Yes, it would be nice to have both. It really would be nice to have both. And it's possible to have both. This dude right here had both. He had both. And it's kind of what you want. But I'm going to have to give two ratings, okay? All right, for the art. For the art. Only for the art. I've got to give it this. Incredible art. Just amazing art. If that's what you want out of a book, absolutely, this is the book. I get it. I think it might be on eBay. It might be on the All Caps eBay store. However, I've got to give another rating for the story, and I got to give this. So, here we go. Now, there was some story in there, and there was a little bit of stakes. There was some character interactions that were kind of good, and I would basically say that if it was edited or given a story edit or given somebody to say, hey Matt, you're drawing too much, man. We've got 38 pages here of slaughter. Maybe we can whittle that down to 15 pages of slaughter or 18 pages of slaughter on the other end and add in some story. I just wish it had an editor. I just wish it had somebody that said, Matt, pull it back. Let's put some let's take some of this art out of it, and save it for something else, and let's tighten up the story. Let's add story beat or character beats other than, hi, my name is such and such. After a while it just got so monotonous, and I'm like, wow, okay, another page of people just being utterly and completely slaughtered. Okay, here we go. If ES had editors, he'd put out books on that. Maybe 4 is not too bad. Was it Matt Barr? No, Matt Martin. Matt Martin. He's not very well known, but he's a friend of EVS's. He was evidently in the mainstream. Matt Martin, Trent Kanuga, and EVS evidently were at the same comic company when they started out, and I think they roomed together or something early on. But they're now all at All Caps, doing whatever All Caps does. I have no idea. I think I got one book due from them, which is what's the name of that? Rainbow the Brute, I think, is the one I've got left. I would like to get that new David Williams comic, but if I think I'll wait till it hits mailboxes before I back it. I just, I don't know. I waited nearly 3 years for that. I think 3, maybe 4. And it's just like, it's beautiful, has a lot of stuff in it, but you know, after a while, just like, okay, yeah. Anyway, I probably won't reread it, and that's the problem. I mean, I got books over here I reread. I got books that I look again, that I revisit, and I just don't see me revisiting that one. Even, I mean, the beautiful chick, she's beautiful. I mean, she's it's drawn a lot, in a lot of different like configurations, but she's in that book maybe 3 or 4 pages. And it's just like, why is she even there? Just to look good and just to be drawn into production art. So you'll buy the thinking you're getting TNA. I mean, just this book is indicative of everything that I've been like preaching about since I started this channel. We could have both, guys. We could have both. This is not an either or. This is a both and proposition we've got here. And it's like people are settling. And I mean, I'm sure there's people just praising this book to high heavens right now, like they praise all the other books that they get from these big producers. And to be honest, if they're good, I'll tell you they're good. But right now, I mean, all the books that I'm getting from smaller guys that are less than 10K have been awesome. Have been 5 carats, easy. But these guys that have like 6-figure campaigns, they have all the resources in the world that were worked for mainstream producers that know better. It's like a Ghost of Matacumbo Key that I got. Man, that needed an editor. And I mean, man, it needed an editor. The previous 2 books I got from Graham were fine. But this one, he just shoves in like this thing in the last minute. And it was like, why didn't you all throughout the book, why didn't you sprinkle in hints that this was going to happen? And it's just like, I don't care how much experience you have. I don't care if you hung your shingle in the mainstream. All I care about is the product you're putting out. Does it have story? Does it have people I care about? Does it have subtlety? Does it have narrative? I mean, it frustrates me because these guys are so damn talented. That's a beautiful book. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. And I talked with a guy the other day that you would know, one of the Joes, and he was like, "All I care about is that the art. If the art's good, I don't really need a story." That's what he said, and I'm like, "Well, I read your ash can. It was the reason I didn't get your main book, and I can see that because I didn't get your main book because your ash can was a mess." Anyway, but it is what it is. Beautiful book. I mean, he's an incredible artist, but man, we could have both. We could have both. Man. All right. I'm waiting for 3 campaigns from the Pie Man. Okay, I got you, dude. Hey, odd to see Fearsome and EVS book not break 6 figures. Well, I think he's burned his reputation. I really do. I love David Williams' artwork. Totally. I still need to get that Bass Reeves comic. I really do. I keep telling myself to do it, but every time he has a campaign up, it's like I get it the day after it closed, So I need to check around and see if I can find it. But I love David Williams' artwork, and Bass Reeves is my man. Bass Reeves is incredible. Anyway, so today, does the modern audience exist? Well, there is one guy who sums it up better than I ever could. And I clipped a little bit from one of his rants. You will know him when you hear him. But let me play this clip. It's going to be about a couple minutes here. But it's off of a bigger off of a bigger video. That's 3 minutes, but so here you go. This is his definition of modern audience, and he says it way better than I ever could. So here you go.
Modern audiences. If ever there was a red flag for another incoming tidal wave of steaming hot post-Vindaloo diarrhea, it would have to be the sentence, updated for modern audiences. It seems like every single puff piece article, awkward promotional tour, tedious interview, and shill media review these days takes a perverse delight in announcing that yet another story has been updated for modern audiences. In fact, it's become just another expected buzzword for basically every new project now, along with other classics like diverse casting, strong female characters, toxic online trolls, and my personal favourite, reflecting the world we live in today. It's meant to be seen as another step towards some undefined, unreachable but eternally optimistic utopia waiting for us in some hypothetical future time that we'll never see. Another uncomfortable mistake of the past corrected, another bastion of the old, bigoted, oppressive world toppled, another victory in the never-ending war against our own cultural legacy. And on the surface, it sounds pretty nice, doesn't it? We love updating things these days. We love stuff that's modern. After all, who wants to cling to old, dusty, outdated ideas when we can have shiny, new, modern stuff? Because everything that's new and updated must be good, right? Everything we produce today must be better than what came yesterday, because surely we couldn't possibly be making stuff that's worse. The reality here is that the myth of the modern audience is one of the biggest cases of collective gaslighting I think I've ever seen, and it's been used to justify some of the worst excesses of franchise destruction in all of entertainment. And yet, there it is, repeated again and again, like it's some badge of honour instead of the dunce's cap of shittiness. The message is always the same, like everyone's saying it is part of some weird collective hive mind, capable only of repeating the same basic concepts and phrases. The world is changing. People are different now, and they don't like the things they used to like. They don't want escapism and innocent, joyful entertainment for its own sake. They want stories and characters that reflect the world we live in today. They don't want thoughtful and balanced explorations of complex ideas. They want to be told exactly how to think on every issue, and always from one particular point of view. Because clearly, we all hold the same opinions about everything. They don't want men that are strong, capable, and assertive, or women that are feminine, compassionate and protective. They want their characters deconstructed, conflicted and homogenized. They don't want historical accuracy, they want modern values, cultural norms and metropolitan diversity superimposed onto times and places where it makes no logical sense. Because the past doesn't matter, you see. The past is full of ists and phobes and dangerous ideas that we have to carefully shield you from in case you start thinking for yourself too much and form opinions that we don't like. All that matters is what we tell you. And the more this shit happens, the more I'm reminded of an interesting little quote from our not too distant history. If you tell a lie big enough and keep repeating it, people will eventually come to believe it.
All right. Nobody says it better than that. The Black Viking, enough said. Yeah. Black female Viking. Yeah, enough said. Well, actually, I am given to understand that there's like a phrase, like a sentence somewhere in the history of the Vikings, written by some muckety muck in the British Museum, that references a character who may or may not have been a Black Viking, and so they created this character based on that like, I don't know, footnote. Same as they did, same as Ubisoft taking that one character way back in samurai time, who was like a sword bearer for a samurai, and made him the lead samurai character in their tent pole. Whatever the name of that thing is. What is it called? Something Thieves. I don't know. Anyway, okay. Assassin's Creed. That's it. Assassin's Creed, right. And And when you look at the preponderance of information that they're going off of, it's like one paragraph in a book of history that somebody's found a footnote into an account that a samurai wrote that this guy existed, and and basically they took that, and not only did they take the fact that he was a black samurai and make that the thing, but they also, the rumor is, and from their materials, that he's probably going to be gay. So, who wanted a gay black samurai in their comic or in their book, right? He was a black gay squire, right? Well, he's a sword bearer, which, sorry, I'm given to understand means that that he was like honored by the samurai, eh, with a position that very few people ever, that very few people out from outside ever got. Um, and sword bearer was an important, important position, but samurai was not available to anybody but the bloodlines. And it's just like ancient feudalism. Feudal lords did not come from the hoi polloi. They didn't make themselves feudal lords, except at the beginning. And but their families, it was passed from family to family, generation to generation, bloodlines, and it was like inherited. It was not something that you earned. Okay, which is why the ninja existed. The ninja were basically the common people fighting back against the samurai and their oppression by any means necessary, and attacking them multiple on one in the middle of the night. Ninjas. They're basically ninjas. Okay, but the thing about it is, though, is who asked for this? They will tell you that there's a group of people out here that wanted representation. They will tell you that there's an audience for this change in their video game. DEI is killing culture in the West, and now in Japan, it's trying to get into Japan. That's what ninja were. I had no idea. Yeah, ninja were ordinary peasants, basically forming these groups. They trained at night. They trained in secret. They learned arts that were supposedly only taught to the upper crust or the elite, and they taught each other. And all their weaponry. The reason why their weaponry is all rudimentary is because they basically made them out of plowshares, and whatever they had handy. And so basically, when you see the ninjas are all ornate and all armor and all like a sword that's been folded, over 100 times, and by a smith that's been working in for generations. And then you see ninja stuff, and ninjas all made out of bamboo. It's all like one blade in bamboo or whatever. And it's because they were peasants. Now, my history might not be as accurate. I didn't really study it. I've been reading off of other people's work, so don't quote me on any of this, but that's what I've been given to understand. A lot of my information came from the series called The Deadliest Warrior. But at one time, Japan controlled China. Now China controls the West, unfortunately. Yep, they definitely do. But who is this modern audience that we get told about? Now, we're told it exists. Okay. Now, this is the proof that, well, they have altered their whole entire apparatus for figuring out what the public wants. They completely totally rewrote their own rules for they went from uh focus groups to doing everything like off of Twitter. They went from actually bringing in real people from across the country with different ideas, different perspectives, different experiences, to getting these small focus groups directly out of the LA casting couch, and bringing them in and basically like, you want to work in this business? We need a good rating for this movie. And so they basically started putting their thumb on the scale, and all they did was in favor, basically to exclude the audience that they had in favor of this audience over here that they believed existed. Okay, what is the proof that this modern audience exists? Where's the proof? And what we're seeing is we're not seeing ratings for shows that were designed for this supposed existent modern audience. We're seeing empty theaters for movies that were designed for this supposed modern audience. Bros from last year, the gay rom-com, was built for a specific modern audience. And then it tanked. I mean, it beyond tanked. It literally made pennies on the dollar of what was spent on it. And of course the Billy Eichner, whose it was his brainchild, basically called everybody istophobes. And if a bunch of if you straight people would have showed up, but wait a second, you didn't make it for us. I mean, in the commercial, it said that straight men had, well, those straight people had a good run, didn't they? I mean, it said that, it's obviously hostile towards straight people. And then you're like, why didn't you straight people show up? It's like, well, you told us not to show up. This wasn't for us, okay? I'm seeing guys like crawling all over each other in the previews. That's not really my bag, man. It's not really my thing. And but this, that's like, hold on a second. I haven't seen a movie since Avenger Endgame, but I'm going to see Deadpool Wolverine. I think we all are. I think we're all going to see Deadpool Wolverine. It just has the right feel to it, and Ryan Reynolds. It feels like Ryan Reynolds got carte blanche, and Hugh Jackman would never return to Wolverine role. The way he went out, the only way he'd return to the Wolverine role is if he loved the script, if he loved what was going to happen, and I trust Hugh Jackman, and I trust Ryan Reynolds, and I don't trust Disney, and I don't trust anybody else that's involved with it, but I trust those two. That they wouldn't put their name on something that was shit. So, yeah, I'm going to see Wolverine, Deadpool. But thing about it is, that wasn't made for modern audiences. It's if you watch the trailers, there's a lot of stuff that modern audiences would find offensive, and yet it's going to be the biggest blockbuster this year. There's no doubt in my mind it's going to be. Everybody I know that loves that kind of cinema is going to go see it, and that's because it's what we want, right? Top Gun Maverick, wasn't made for modern audiences. It was made for people that love the 1980 spectacle. That was the first one. It wasn't made for modern audiences. It was made for the audience that they knew they already had. And what happened was the audience that they knew that they already had came and saw it, and told the other audience that wouldn't know Top Gun from Adam, and they came and saw it because of the word of mouth, which is the way things used to work. He was like, I gotta go on roids again. Ryan has been trying to make up for Deadpool since Wolverine Origins. Yeah. Yeah. Of course, that last movie, he shot that one in the head. That was pretty deliberate. But anyway, so this modern audience that they have completely, totally, absolutely bet the farm that exists, and yet, Acolyte has just evidently come on to streaming. I have no desire to ever see it, but first thing that they said, according to Kathleen Kennedy, the okay, all right, boo everybody, feel free to boo. Okay, all right, booing over. All right, there you go. Got that out of your system. Yeah. Anyway, but Kathleen Kennedy said that the reason why they're having so many struggles right now is because the Star Wars fandom is primarily male. And she's like, well, there's a lot of women that have a tough time appearing in Star Wars stuff because the fandom is primarily male. Okay, so she admitted that she knows that the audience of Star Wars is primarily male, and yet she has been pushing forces female. So she's been claiming about this. Oh, what's up, John? Hey, man, drive safe, dude. But she's been claiming all this time that she was giving the Star Wars fan what they wanted. She's been claiming this whole entire time, even though she's saying the Force is female. Even though that's always been the narrative. The thing about it is she's just basically blatantly saying, well, the primary audience for Star Wars is male. And so basically she's saying, okay, I know who the audience is. I've always known who the audience is. And yet I've done my best to try to drive them off. I've done my best to try to give them product that they don't like deliberately. So she's saying, I know who the audience is, and I am not going to cater to the audience that's there. I don't want that audience. She said over and over again. What did she say? The past has to die, even if you have to kill it. She had those words actually coming out of Luke's mouth. Okay. Anyway, it always has been, but we love women. Yeah. We love women, but we don't love being called names and having women like lord over the men, and for them to be primary focus, and I don't know. But the modern audience, evidently, this modern audience, if the modern audience existed, then it wouldn't matter that the audience is male. It wouldn't matter. Because if the modern audience exists, then everything that Star Wars did would be packed out. Like it used to be. Okay? But if this modern audience existed, then why has Star Wars fallen off a cliff? Okay. He who controls the past controls the future. George Orwell. Yep. Well, it's like a Critical Drinker was saying. They know who they don't want as their audience. They know. They are deliberately doing their best to alienate that audience and let that audience know that you're invalid. You're not important. Go away. We don't want you. The only reason you would do that is, first of all, because you don't care about profit. Secondly, because you believe you have a replacement audience. You believe that you have a replacement audience. Okay. They've actually said this with the new Doctor Who. They said for everybody we drive off with our over the top gay doctor, 5 more will start watching. For every one that we drive off, every misogynist or istophobe dinosaur that we drive off, 5 are going to start watching. Well, look at the numbers. Look at the numbers. What do the numbers say? The numbers say that those 5 people that they expected to take the place of that one misogynist dinosaur that they ran off, they're not showing up. They're not showing up. Does this modern audience exist? Well, we believe in data. We believe in physical, concrete numbers. Why? Because that's how the world functions. If you're going to build a house, you have to build a house using a tape measure. Why? If you don't, the house is going to collapse. Everything has to be stable. Everything has to be balanced. Everything has to be perfectly level. And the only way that happens if you use a tape measure, just like that. The only way that things function is if you look at physical numbers. Physical numbers do not lie. Now, if you've got the actual numbers, now they gaslight all the time and give you the wrong numbers, or they don't give you the full data set. But if you have the full numbers, which we are starting to get, then this replacement audience is not showing up. It's not showing up in the physical numbers. It's not showing up physically in the theaters. It's not showing up on the streaming numbers. It's not showing up on Netflix. The people that watch things on Netflix. It's not showing up. But for the people who cater to the audience that they didn't want, are busting out right now. Everybody that says, I know that you like this thing, so I'm going to give you this thing. They're absolutely can't give it away right now. I mean, they're absolutely being inundated. They're advertising to people who support the corporations, but not the product, like the assholes they chased away. Exactly. Well, those assholes paid for things. Those assholes bought tickets. Those assholes bought toys. Those assholes bought games. Those assholes filled theaters. Those assholes were the backbone of the fandom. They made shows. They talked about it. They updated. They went to the parks, and they showed up at the parks with their Yoda ears on, and they imitating Wookiee noises, and they were there day one. Those assholes mattered. And you know where they went? They're still out there, waiting for somebody to say, hey, asshole, remember this? I got something like it. I got something that you like. I know you like it because I like it too. Why don't you come over and let's commiserate? Because we want you over here. We want you, not the modern audience. We want an actual audience. And it's working. Preach, bro. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Well, if you're looking all over the place. There's success stories from people who are not in the mainstream or not corporate, who have absolutely no connection to anything that multi-million-dollar companies that are doing it on their own in their back room or whatever. Oliver Anthony Lunsford, what's his name? Well, he calls himself Oliver Anthony, but he was just singing his heart out about the idiots up in Washington in the backwoods somewhere, and I just saw him do a video the other day of signing a record contract. He says, "I know I said I wasn't going to sign a record contract, but I'm sorry, but they just offered too much money," and it turns out to be his dog. But you know what? That guy went from a camper in the backwoods somewhere to be sitting on his front porch of his brand new house. Why? Because he spoke to the people, went straight to the people. He sang a song that everybody agrees with. You know, we all know the rich men north of Richmond don't have our best interest at heart. We all know that shit. And he said it. And so we threw money at him. One asshole speaking to assholes, and we made him a very rich asshole. Anyway, it's all about the member berries. Yeah. Well, see, the thing about it is when they give you these member berries, when they aim for that, that nostalgia, they don't understand that what we want is not nostalgia. What we want is something that brings back the magic that was in the original thing. We don't necessarily want that original thing. What we want is the same magic. We look at Maverick. What Maverick got right. What Maverick got right was, yes, he was still the badass. Yes, he was still fearless. And yes, he was still interesting. But he had aged. And he had some more mileage under him. And it showed. But, I mean, the relationship that he had with Rooster, and the pain that he was still feeling because of Goose getting killed. And he was carrying that around with him, right? There's just like this one moment where he's looking in a bar and Rooster is playing a piano, the exact same tune that his dad played in the first movie, Goose. And he was sitting on the piano when that played. Rooster was on the piano when they played. I forgot that he was even in the first movie. And he's playing the same tune. He's got some girl hanging off of him, just like Goose did, with Rooster's mother. And he has this moment where he just like, it just overwhelms him. And, Penny, the girl that knew him and Goose, the love interest played by, Jennifer Connelly. But she looks out there and she sees them and she looks over and sees Goose and she knows. And there's nothing spoken, but they know. You know what she's thinking. You know that she's feeling for him. And you feel for him too. But that wasn't member berries. That was power, the power of the original moment. But it was like recreated and you felt that loss all over again. That's what we want. And the only way you can do that is good writing. The only way you can get there is to love the original enough to know what the heart of it and what we liked about it. That's the only way you can recreate that magic, is to love it enough to know what made it special and recreate that. Anyway, exactly. All right, thank you, man. Sup, Bunny? Oh, Jason Black. I haven't seen you around these parts. Hey, welcome back, dude. Did you see Adam Sandler is going to release Happy Gilmore 2 on Netflix? Oh, no. I don't know where he could go with that. But we'll find out. Why not? Absolutely, why not? Unfortunately, Carl Weathers won't be in it. But, it is what it is. Life happens. But the bottom line is this modern audience that they keep going after. The modern audience that they keep waiting to show up. The modern audience they sold out their soul for. The modern audience that they drove off the audience they had, the paying audience that they had on behalf of, hasn't showed up. And we've been into this. Since 2019. I believe it's 2019 is when is the cutoff year, because a certain person got elected that year, and they all lost their collective shit. And you know what? I don't know. I think it's all coming back around. I mean, I think they're going to try to burn it to the ground so it doesn't. But if anything survives, I think it's all coming back around, guys. But we got an opportunity here. The opportunity is there is an unserved, massive audience out there that has been thrown out by the mainstream, ostracized, and ignored. And they're sitting out here. And you know what? They still like to back things. They still like to buy things. They still like to see stuff. That's good. And they still want the magic that they once had that's been destroyed. And you know what? We know what the magic is. We know that deep magic because we were there when it was written. We know what this audience wants because we want it. We are that audience. We are those assholes. We are those assholes. So we know what they want because we want it too. So anyway, late to this conversation, but I don't think they have any idea how to reach my nephew, 6 and 10-year-old demographic. They aren't speaking to them. No, they're not. What they're speaking to is they're speaking to the kids that they want to, that they think they've been indoctrinated. They think they've indoctrinated the kids to the extent that they're speaking to the indoctrination that they think that the kids have already got. And you know what? The kids don't like to be indoctrinated. They never have. That's one of the amazing things about kids is kids can smell bullshit. They smell it a mile off, and they do not react well. And so generation, Alpha, Alpha, Gen Z. The only ones we're seeing are the ones that are sticking the mics in front of. But the ones that aren't speaking, the ones that aren't paying it, that aren't, on TikTok all day long, those kids are actually pretty damn smart. And they know what they want. They know what they like. And people like Japan are giving them to them right now. Not America, but Japan is giving it to them right now. Anyway, maybe they appeal to a small sect of people in their early 20s, a few aging millennials who think they're 20, right? Younger kids don't look past the tablet or phone, unfortunately. No. But think about it is what are they watching on those tablets and phones? I don't think they're watching the things that the mainstream thinks they're watching. I really don't. And maybe I'm being Pollyannish about this whole thing, but this modern audience, I don't think it exists. I just don't think it exists. I think wishing doesn't make it so. And I think the crowd that does exist, the audience that does actually exist, the one they drove off, the one they alienated, the one they marginalized, the one that they barred the door for, is still out there. Still wants to fund, still wants to back, still wants to consume product. But they want to consume a product that doesn't hate their guts. It doesn't tell them that they're horrible people. And so, this is the opportunity, guys. This is the opportunity. So if you're a creator, get on it. That window, mainstream is eventually going to, get their heads out of their butts, start pursuing this modern audience, and then the door is going to shut. Let's get in before that happens. And it's going to be years. We got years. This window's years wide. It's going to take years for the mainstream to figure out, because they only talk to one another, and all one another happens to be in New York and LA. So in other words, there's no no perspective there. But so that's the sermon for the day, guys. No call-ins today, no panel members, but we had a pretty active chat, and I appreciate every one of you. You're right, Bunny. If they make a Fortnite movie, it'll make $1 bazillion. If they make the right Fortnite movie, it'll be $1 bazillion. If they make the right one, if they don't make the right one, then it will fail just like everything else. But anyway, so that's been Cooper for Telepathic Bunny Comics. Thank you all for coming. And I'm going to try to maybe upload something tomorrow night. Maybe the Bookie Bunny show. I'm still trying to get YouTube to clear some stuff. But maybe... Okay, hold on a second. These two companies are talking about have nothing to lose. The money doesn't factor because they're subsidized by corporations who write this off as a loss. Yep. Yeah, we didn't even get to ESG today. We didn't even get to ESG today. Have a good night. Yep, that's a good comment, Hojo. Thanks for making it, dude. Anyway, so I'm going to send us off to a sound that we're all very happy to hear, and that makes us all smile. So here you go. This is from me to you. That makes me smile every time. Oh, well, anyway. So that's been Cooper for Telepathic Bunny Comics, and I will see you next time. So till then, follow the White Rabbit, and y'all have a good night. Bye, everybody.